Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Make sure you smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. As you guys know, we are being currently shadow banned. We have a negative 93% impression advantage rate according to data, so make sure you interact with this video in any way possible to boost it in the algorithm. And today we are going to do the March edition of my 2022 Senate elections prediction. I was going to do a video on the border crisis. I'm going to probably move that back to Monday. I'll be working on it this weekend. In the meantime, I wanted to get out this video because the 2022 midterms are just around 19-20 months away. And it's never too early to get started because we already have candidates that are announcing their campaigns, candidates that are running. And it's going to be interesting to see because the Biden administration, so far, the filibuster looks like it's going to stay in place, which means a lot of Biden's agenda can't exactly become accomplished. However, after the 2022 midterms, you may see senators that are on the fence happen to support ending the filibuster if Democrats expand on their Senate majority, which really isn't a majority, it's 50-50, but since Biden is president, Kamala Harris does break ties, which essentially makes it a majority. So we are going to fill this map out here, but first I do have to tell you guys about my very good friends over at My Patriot Supply. After that winter wake-up call and the breakdown of the power grid, nobody can deny that we're all quite vulnerable. We saw power grid failures and severe weather make the food supply chain come to a grinding halt in many parts of the country. And whenever that happens, people suffer. That's why it's smart to prepare in advance for these disasters by stocking up on long-term storage emergency food. Food that stays fresh for up to 25 years so you never go hungry. I strongly recommend My Patriot Supply, America's leader in self-reliance. They're the only source I use for emergency food planning, and right now you can save $50 off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that give you 2,000 plus calories a day. That's what you'll need to survive the next disaster. And saving $50 is impossible to pass up, but supplies are limited, so go to preparewithredeagle.com and stock up now. That's preparewithredeagle.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now. All right, guys, so we will have 34 Senate seats up for grabs in 2022. I filled out Georgia as a safe blue for Ossoff because this election already took place. However, the special election in the state of Georgia only lasts for 2 years, so Georgia will have another Senate seat that will be available for Republicans to potentially pick off in 2022. But nevertheless, I did want to fill out this map. We're going to start off on the East Coast, and we're going to make our way west, starting off with the state of New Hampshire, the Granite State, where I do believe Chris Sununu is going to run. A disclaimer, with Sununu, I think it would be lean R. Without Sununu, I think it would probably be lean D. But I do believe Sununu is running, and until further notice, I will keep that seat as lean Republican. In terms of Vermont, that will likely be safe Democrat, New York, Connecticut, and Maryland as well. Unless Hogan decides to run as an independent that could caucus with the Dems, maybe he would be a viable candidate, but until that happens, we'll put that as safe Democrat. So the Democrats are already at 40 Senate seats. And keep in mind that they need 50 to hold the Senate. Republicans need 51 to retake the Senate. So South Carolina, I believe Tim Scott will easily hold on. The state of Florida, Marco Rubio, likely to, if not safe. The Democratic Party in Florida is an absolute disaster. Marco Rubio, even though some Republicans don't exactly like him, he's popular enough to win. Any Republican that is going to come out for Ron DeSantis is inevitably going to vote for Marco Rubio. He probably could win by more than 10%. The state of North Carolina, this one I will put in the lean Republican column, whether it is Laura Trump or Mark Walker. There's several candidates. The bench is somewhat deep in North Carolina. Either way, I see it being a lean Republican seat, tilt to lean Republican, somewhere in that range. Pennsylvania, on the other hand, the Republican bench is deep, but the truth is that they may not settle on the right candidate, and the Fetty energy, as I covered in one of my past videos, I believe that it could be strong enough to solely carry him to the finish line. It is going to be very close. I will put this one as tilt Democrat. Ohio should be likely Republican, if not safe Republican. Whether it is Josh Mandel or it is J.D. Vance, Timken would make things interesting, maybe make it a lean Republican seat or something along those lines. But either way, as we can see here, Ohio, it's moving towards safe status. It very well could go safe Republican in 2022, especially if Republicans do have a favorable year. A lot of polling that we've seen has been all over the place, but a lot of the polls that we've seen have also been from left-wing firms like PPP, Data for Progress, etc., polling firms that were extremely off the generic ballot in both 2018 and 2020. So I think that we will have to wait and see on polling. Polling just at this point is a complete and total dead industry. But in terms of Indiana, Kentucky, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, which, by the way, there could be a primary challenger in Arkansas. In terms of Alabama, Mo Brooks is likely to announce a run sooner than later for Senate. That would be a very, very good pickup for an actual conservative over the current Rhino and Richard Shelby, who will be retiring. So Georgia's special Senate election, I believe it's going to be Herschel Walker who will get Donald Trump's endorsement, the former NFL running back. He will run up against Warnock. And like I said last time, Loeffler was an extremely weak candidate. That is why Warnock was able to win. Warnock was weak as well. He was scandal-plagued. He had a lot of ties to far-left groups. However, Loeffler was not able to effectively communicate that message. She resorted to calling him a robotic nickname. Radical liberal Raphael Warnock didn't exactly work out so well, and as a result, she ended up losing. Now, Herschel Walker, I think, narrowly will have the edge. Obviously, Georgia is a state that is moving to the left, although we have seen, I believe that they are fixing the voting system in Georgia with some recent legislation. I'm wondering if that is going to help Brian Kemp out in his primary if he does get challenged. We will have to see what happens then and there. But in terms of the Georgia special election, I do believe that it will narrowly go for Herschel Walker in the state of Georgia. So Illinois will be safe Democrat. Washington, Oregon, California, and Hawaii will all be safe Democrat in terms of the Senate. Republicans will win safe in North Dakota, South Dakota, Missouri, which will be an open seat, by the way. They will win in Kansas safe, Oklahoma safe, Idaho, as well as Utah. All of those will be safe. The state of Iowa, Chuck Grassley may be retiring. He's going to be extremely old. However, he won big last time. If he does run again, it probably will be difficult to beat him. I'm going to put this one as likely Republican. The state of Wisconsin. This is one that's currently a Republican seat. We saw the massive trend in the state of Wisconsin over the past decade or so. It's trending right. And I don't believe that a Democrat is going to win the state of Wisconsin at the presidential level anytime soon. I think 2020 was the last time. And I think that in terms of Wisconsin, in terms of the Senate race there, Ron Johnson probably going to retire. You could have an authentic populist that would do very well in the state of Wisconsin, like Kevin Nicholson run. He probably will be in a primary with a more establishment Waukesha type. Either way, I do believe that the seat is going to be a hold for the Republicans in the state of Wisconsin. I believe it is going to be a lean Republican seat at the end of the day. So we have 4 seats left here: Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, and Alaska. The state of Colorado, that one, I'm not exactly sure what Republican would run for that Senate seat there. Either way, I do believe that it will be a likely Democrat seat, even in a potential red wave year or mini red wave year, which it really depends on if the GOP puts up decent candidates that give people a reason to turn out for them. Unlike what we saw in the special election down in the state of Georgia, also, what will Biden's approval rating be? Not what the election mafia polls say it is, but what will his actual approval rating be? Right now, I do believe it is below 50. It's close to that, but it's below, and it's dipped significantly in RCP. 538's polling aggregate is garbage, obviously, but even in that, it's dipped a couple of points as well, from what I can tell. So it's going to be interesting to monitor that as well, but you have 3 seats remaining. Republicans need to win one of these 3 to retake the Senate: Nevada, Arizona, and Alaska. And they very well could win all 3. Keep this in mind, Alaska, they will probably primary Murkowski out in the primary, but would she run as a third party and win the way that she did in 2010? It's very possible. We'll have to see. But either way, even if she does win or the Republican wins, it's going to stay in Republican hands in the state of Alaska. If the Democrats were smart, they probably would not run a candidate and let Murkowski win, let Murkowski get all of the Democrat support in the state of Alaska, because she is one of the most liberal Republicans. It's kind of strange how you have such a liberal Republican from such a red state like Alaska. Alaska usually is a safe red state, even though it went for Trump by like 10 to 11 this time. It was closer than in years past, but still, it's a heavily Republican state. You have a very weak, the weakest Republican in the whole country is coming from the state of Alaska. But it's going to be unique to see how that shakes out. Sarah Palin very well could primary Murkowski successfully and then go on to win the general election. It would be very interesting to see how that shakes out, but I really would encourage Sarah Palin to run because I do believe she is the candidate for the job, and she is a fighter, whether you like her or not. She's an interesting character, yes, but she is a fighter, and she would deliver for the people of Alaska. So, Nevada and Arizona. Now, the state of Nevada, things are interesting in Nevada. That one could go either way. Depends on the candidate. If Laxalt runs, I think it would be tilt Republican. If it's going to be somebody else, probably tilt to lean Democrat. I think that Nevada and Arizona both are toss-ups. Personally, I'm going to flip this from last video. Mark Kelly will be up in Arizona because he is voting so far. If he keeps the filibuster in place, I will say that it will narrowly go to him again. But Nevada, I think, is a state that if Laxalt runs, which I think he will, that could very well flip into the Republican column. So 52 to 48 is really the forecast right now. It very well could change. Obviously, you look at this. Maybe Fetterman has an implosion in the general election, and the Republicans can effectively brand him as a far-left radical, LARPing as a working-class type of Democrat. That could doom him in Pennsylvania. He also could lose the primary to a much weaker Democrat, and you could have a strong Republican challenger beat him. However, in Georgia, maybe Herschel Walker doesn't decide to run. Maybe you have a weak Republican again, and they lose to Warnock. That could easily affect the race there. Same thing with Nevada and Arizona. If Andy Biggs is the nominee, which I'm not sure he will run yet, but if he does decide to and becomes the nominee, he could be a uniquely strong candidate because he does have the backing within the Maricopa County establishment, but also has an appeal to Donald Trump's base in a way that could energize the populist base in Arizona, which, by the way, does exist, even though nobody wants to talk about. So 52-48 if Sununu runs. If Sununu doesn't run, 51-49. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, especially Alt Tech. The links are all in the description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.